She was talking with her best friend. They were at their favorite diner. They'd been meeting there since they were college kids. They spent most of their time laughing. Christine took her medicine and snack. Her friend watched her with an awkward stare. What is it like to have lupus and be sick? She was shocked. She was shocked because she figured her friend knew all there was to know. They'd been friends ever since they were roommates in college. After all, she had come with her to doctor's appointments, sees her use a cane, even throw up, cry. So Christine told her about the pills, the chronic pain, but her friend wasn't satisfied. What does it feel like? Not to be sick, but to be you. Christine tried to regain her composure. She looked around, grasping for a thought. How much detail should she give? She thought about making a joke, giving up, changing the subject. But she figured if she didn't try to explain it, how could her best friend ever understand? And if she couldn't explain it to her best friend, how could she explain her world to anyone else? She quickly grabbed every spoon on the table and on the surrounding tables. And that night in 2013, the spoon theory was born. The spoon theory is a metaphor for living with illness or disability, visible or invisible, permanent or transient. Christine is Christine Miserandino, who started the blog ButYouDon'tLookSick.com, the stories behind the smiles. This is her story. Spoons are the code word for what you can and can't do. So here, welcome to Cafe Schwartz, our place setting. I have stolen spoons from around the restaurant, and we have, let's count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And, oh, one over here. 12. Here you go. You have lupus. 12 spoons. The difference between being sick and healthy is you now have to make choices. You have to consciously think about things when the rest of the world doesn't have to. Most healthy and temporarily able-bodied people start the day with many possibilities. Energy to do whatever they wish, even more so for younger people. When you're healthy, you expect to have a never-ending supply of spoons. But with an illness, you need to know exactly how many spoons you have. Now, each chore, each fun thing, each errand will cost a spoon. Before you even go to work, you have to get ready for work. That will cost a spoon. But think about this a little more realistically. You wake up late because you didn't sleep well. You need to have breakfast, because if you don't have breakfast, you can't take your medicine. And if you can't take your medicine, then throw out all of the spoons for today and tomorrow too. So making breakfast, crawling out of bed, that's going to cost you 1 spoon. Now, you have to shower. Don't drop your spoons. You have to shower. Washing, shaving, reaching, bending. That costs a spoon. For healthy, temporarily able-bodied people, a spoon might be really refreshing and build your energy. But if you're sick, you have pain, it hurts to move, or sensitivity to temperature, you can't feel temperature changes, it's going to cost a spoon. Here's a spoon for the morning shower. So to go to work, you have to get dressed. But to get dressed, you have to think of each detail. So what is the pain so far today? What clothes can you physically put on? If your hands hurt that day, you'll need a pullover shirt with no buttons. If you have bruises that day, you might need long sleeves, a fever, then a sweater, but some layers so you could cool off. And maybe you need more time to look presentable because your hair is falling out. And Christine says, add another 5 minutes for feeling badly, that just getting ready took a couple of hours. So there is another spoon. Now, theoretically, you haven't gotten to work yet, so choose the rest of your day wisely, because when your spoons are gone, they are gone. Sometimes you can borrow against tomorrow's spoons, but that will make tomorrow even harder, and someone who is sick may not be able to risk it. If their particular illness makes them more susceptible to other illnesses, they can't risk the danger. So now you go through your day. Let's say you take the train. There's no seat on the train, so you have to stand for the trip. That's going to cost a spoon. At work, you sit at the computer too long because you're at deadline. That's hard on your body. Another spoon. You were working really hard because you're on deadline, so you skip lunch. For you, that's another spoon. Now it's time to step outside. The elevator is out of service, so you have to take the stairs to get down to the first floor. That's another spoon. It's rainy and cool out, a little uncomfortably so, and you're walking back to the train, pretty tired. The wind picks up. That's another spoon. You have to stop off at the post office to mail a birthday present or it will be late. So you really want to prioritize this and make sure you get to the post office. Another spoon. You do have to get home after all of this. And so there's the walk back to the train in the rain, the train ride, and then the walk from the train stop back home. I'm just going to count that as one spoon, but realistically that could be more. Now you have 2 spoons left and you're very hungry. Now you choose. You need a spoon to be able to make dinner, but you'd also like to do the dishes, and doing the dishes takes a spoon. The laundry also needs to be done, but that will cost 1 spoon to do something you like, which might be the first and only truly fun thing you did all day. So for tonight, you have to make some decisions. You really need to eat because you missed lunch, and even a simple dinner is going to cost 1 spoon. Now, it's 7 p.m. and you have 1 spoon left. How will you spend it? Your friend calls and asks if you would like to see a movie. You want to, but you have only 1 spoon, and you would need at least 5 to go out. They're a really good friend, but you're not sure if they'll understand. You had to cancel the last 2 times because you didn't feel well. But you only have 1 spoon, and you need that spoon to get ready for bed. If you don't use a spoon for a chore, though, you'll need a spoon on another day for it. The chores just don't do themselves. But if you don't do something enjoyable and relaxing, your stress levels could wind up costing you a spoon later on, too. And you see the conundrum. The spoon is the metaphor for what you can and can't do. Christine says the hardest thing she ever had to learn was to slow down and not do everything. And there's loss. There's loss in feeling left out, having to choose to stay home, not getting things done that you wish or need to do. For temporarily able-bodied people, may not know each task is 100 little jobs in one. Christine says, when other people can simply do things, I have to attack it and make a plan like I am strategizing a war. It is in that lifestyle, the difference between being sick and healthy. It's the beautiful ability not to think and to just do. I miss that freedom. I miss never having to count spoons. Since 2013, some people with chronic illnesses or disabilities sometimes use the word spoonie to describe themselves. Everyone has a different number of spoons. A healthy person may have 30 spoons on a typical day. Someone living with a chronic condition that affects them mild to moderately may have 20. Another person with a severe condition may have 5 spoons. And to make matters a little more complex in this metaphor, the same task can take different amounts of spoons for different people. Taking out the trash may not even cost a spoon for a healthy person, but for somebody with mobility challenge on a bad pain day, it could take 2 spoons. It's not fair. People who live with chronic conditions have the difficult burden and blessing of not taking things for granted, including the future. Throughout the pandemic, I've heard people complain about how hard it is to plan. How can I plan when I don't know what's coming next week? Each time I hear something like that, I think to myself, welcome to the club. People with chronic illness often don't know what the next week will be like. For better or worse, they are, and I am, less than burdened by changes, ups and downs. Acceptance and flexibility are skills and character traits that can come, but often at a steep price. The truth of the matter is none of us are entitled to a healthy body or mind. People who are healthy and able-bodied live as such, only temporarily. And none of us can actually know what the next week will hold. I've heard it said that everyone has maybe 25% fewer spoons during the pandemic. Grieving takes spoons too. When we understand the spoon theory, we can understand people around us better who have different abilities, strengths, illnesses, challenges, and what it's like to live with illness in body or mind, grief, aging. And that awareness can give us compassion and help all of us live our lives a little differently too. And right now, compassion is something we all need, regardless of our ability level, our health, our place in society, and our country as a whole needs it too. May that compassion be yours, and may you be blessed by it as well. May it be so. Amen.